Witchcraft. A supernatural practice that's been part of folklore for thousands of years. In the past 50 years, we've seen a meteoric rise in the acceptance and ownership of witchcraft and the occult. This has permeated into mainstream music and birthed some peculiar fringe movements. Let's explore the strange world of witchcraft music. Up until the 1950s, countries like England had strict laws in place against the practice of witchcraft. Once abolished, slow intrigue led to public acceptance that put witchcraft fully in the zeitgeist. In this hodgepodge of references and occult themes was another type of phenomenon, spoken word records. Albums that consist of typically ambient arrangements, paired with witches making spells or giving instructions. Sometimes these were even released by major record labels trying to profit off of this trend. Louise Huebner was one of the more prominent witches in this scene. In the 1968 Hollywood Bowl, she was dubbed the official witch of LA. A year later, she released her album, Seduction Through Witchcraft. This record boasts some rather experimental soundscapes that pushed the limits of electronica at the time. Paired with Huebner's mystical voice, it made for a rather mind-expanding, be it campy, listen.
Seduce your lover with a special charm from Sicily.
That same year, Capitol Records released Witchcraft, Magic, an adventure in demonology. This was narrated by Vincent Price, an actor from the 40s and beyond, typically starring in horror films. Here, Vincent walks through witch history, touching on topics like the burnings of the Middle Ages.
The methods of the witch hunters and inquisitors were simple. Some poor wretch is accused of witchcraft, sometimes by a jealous neighbor or a peevish child.
One of the more obscure releases was Barbara the Grey Witch. Barbara gives the audience a series of tests to see if they're true witches. She proceeds to educate listeners on spells, chants, and rituals.
Satan or his demon may come in any body form. Man, woman, animal, half and half.
There was also Gundella, the Green Witch, who in 1971 released The Hour of the Witch. Gundella had a no-nonsense approach to her record, simply speaking about witchcraft. As someone who was part of the Michigan school system for over 20 years, it seems she treated this as something of a lecture.
Please realize there is no magic in the ritual you are going to perform. The magic is all within you.
England saw their fair share of this spoken word trend as well. In the forefront were Alex and Maxine Sanders, putting out A Witch is Born in 1970 on A&M Records. This duo was praised as the faces of Wiccan culture, and Alex was dubbed King of the Witches. They appeared across media outlets in England and really pushed the risque aspects of the occult.
But to be reborn, you must die and be made ready for a new body. And to die, you must be born. And without love, you may not be born.
By the mid-1970s, interest in witches began to decline. In fact, the whole hippie movement, obsessed with outsider ideologies, had subsided for various reasons. Political issues in the UK, the rise of new genres, and public fear of the occult, to name a few. There were some smaller acts, but they never made it through to the broader discussion. That brings us to the 2000s, where an unexpected rise in Wiccan culture took millennials by storm. A study at Trinity College in Connecticut found the number of Wiccans grew from 8,000 in 1990 to 340,000 by 2008. The reasons are oddly similar to those of the 60s, a rise in spirituality. For many, belief in astrology and magic took the place of traditional Abrahamic religion. We saw the reissue of those spoken word records. Artists like Azalea Banks, Lana Del Rey, and FKA Twigs all associate with Wiccan culture. The band Broadcast teamed up with The Focus Group, to create an experimental album about witch cults of the radio age. This was inspired by that 60s movement and has been compared to Pink Floyd's Piper at the Gates of Dawn, containing a mix of chopped samples, repeated mantras, and eerie moods. There is even a subgenre of electronic music called Witch House, with artists like Salem releasing prominent records. This genre consists of remixed hip-hop beats, industrial sounds, and overly drony atmospheres. It also draws influence from the dream pop of the 80s. And that's where we leave off. With the ever-growing trend of magic and witch movements in youth culture, we can only expect to see more references and representations in our music. Maybe we'll even bear witness to those strange spoken word albums, re-envisioned for the modern age. But for now, this has been the strange world of witchcraft music. Don't forget to subscribe.